sleeves, show his scars, and say these wounds. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgotten. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Got a question for you. Who's got it better than us? Nobody! Give each other a hand.
Welcome to the Big House, the CFB Nation. How are you? I'm Andy, and we're back again with another episode, so let's get right to it. All right, so we got some more coaching changes here. Steve Klingscale, he leaves the defensive staff to be part of the Chargers staff. That wasn't a big of a shock because Wink Martindale is named the defensive coordinator. Now, Klink, he was in the running for that spot. When he didn't get it, he decided to go to the NFL. So that wasn't a big shock. Now, with Wink Martindale, I do like it. Now, he comes from that family of the Mike McDonald, Jesse Minter system. And the current Michigan defense, they know that terminology. They know that system. Now, with Wink, he is a little bit more blitz happy, but people are saying Wink and Don Brown are the same people, and they are nothing alike. Let me tell you, because the cover schemes behind the blitz packages, Wink is very good at that, whereas Don Brown was simply not. Don Brown pretty much left the corners one-on-one as is, and they were outmanned. With Wink, I am not concerned. You should be very happy that he is the defensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines. Now, one departure, four-star linebacker Jaden Smith, he was released from his letter of intent. That is the first guy to officially leave the program, but I would not be too concerned for guys. Now, let's kind of transition to the 2024 NFL draft. Most recently with The Athletic, Dane Brugler, he released his top 100 big board. And on the top 100, the first guy is number 24, J.J. McCarthy. He has him as his quarterback 4. If you've listened to the pods, they've mentioned him possibly at the 11, 12, 13 range, with the fallback option being with the Rams, and then possibly a team trading up into the first round to get that 5th-year option. J.J. McCarthy is looking more and more like a first-round pick with every passing day. The second guy on that list is number 39, Junior Colson. He is the linebacker 1 for Dane Brugler. He's a very good player, and I would not be surprised if he also got into the back half of the first round. He is someone who's going to make plays on the defense in the NFL, and it's going to be a tackling machine on that weak side linebacking crew. At number 45, we have Roman Wilson. He checks in as wide receiver number 9, and he should probably go in the second round. Number 60 is Mike Sanderstill. He is the quarterback or cornerback 9. He's been the heart and soul of that defense. He started his career as a wide receiver, converted to a cornerback because he did whatever he wanted to help the team. Now, he's at number 60. He could easily go into the back half of the second round. Number 66 on his big board is Chris Jenkins. He's the 5th-ranked defensive tackle, and he is someone that's going to eat a lot of space. I would not be surprised if he becomes a very good run-stuffing defensive tackle in the NFL. And then to round out the top 100, number 73, Blake Corum. He's the RB2 for Dane Brugler. That's pretty interesting. We'll have to see where the running backs go in the NFL draft. Personally, I think the running back 1 off the board will be Jonathan Brooks, probably, I would say, at the end of the second round to the early third round. So Blake Corum might slide into that third round range, if not possibly the fourth round range. Now let's talk about the NFL Combine. That was also released as well, and there is a slew of Wolverines going to the Combine. Let's list them off for you. Quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. Running back, Blake Corum. Wide receiver, Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson. Tight end A.J. Barner, he's been invited. He was someone who played very well in the Senior Bowl practices. On the offensive line, Carson Barnett, Ladarius Henderson, Trent Jones, Trevor Keegan, Drake Nugent, Zach Zinter. They've all been invited. On the defensive line, Jalen Harrell, Chris Jenkins, Braden McGregor. Linebackers, Michael Barrett and Junior Colson. And then on the defensive backside, Mike Sanderstill and Josh Wallace. Now that rounds out the NFL Combine invites. Those are a lot of Wolverines that's going to be invading the NFL Combine. We're going to see a lot of these guys get drafted over the 3-day weekend of the NFL draft. This should be a time of celebration because these are the guys that helped brought us the national championship. Now we've head to the profile segment, and now every week we're going to do different players, different profiles. Get you ready to know who these guys are, who's going to be the next name that you need to know. Now the freshman player profile of the day is wide receiver Channing Goodwin. He is 6'1", 175 pounds, a 3-star in the composites, rated as high as wide receiver 50 and as low as wide receiver 149. He averages out to be wide receiver 86, and he comes in as my wide receiver 59. Now, he is someone that is a pretty good route runner. I would say he's above average route runner, very good hands. Now, where his two, I would say, traits that he's going to bring in right away from day one, he's a high IQ football player, and he loves to find that soft area in the zone, and he will sit there for his quarterback. That is something that these quarterbacks at Michigan will absolutely love, and he is someone that has a very high IQ and someone that could very well fit into this room and get playing time. Now, we all know this wide receiver room, it needs to improve, and it needs to get better overall. Now, Goodwin, he brings length to this team, being over 6 foot, good wingspan, and like I said before, it brings a very high IQ to the position. And with that pathway of playing time, he could get one of the boundary positions and could possibly work himself into a nice role. Now, he is going to be part of that new wave coming in, so we have to see who kind of improves. Who we just have to see where when the dust settles, who becomes the cream of this crop, and we'll have to see. But Goodwin has every chance to be one of the top 3 to 4 receivers. Now, with the next man up profile is someone that I want to take a look at, and that is a hybrid player. He's a defensive end / linebacker, Josiah Stewart. He's 6'1", 245 pounds. Now, he transferred in from Coastal Carolina last year, and he was a key part in the national championship game. What I like about him is his versatility. He started out as a defensive tackle in Coastal Carolina. He then played defensive end / linebacker at Michigan. It'll be interesting to see where he plays the majority of his snaps next year, but I would say defensive end would be the spot that I would want him at. This past season at Michigan, he had 38 tackles, 8.5 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks, and he also dropped back and he got 2 passes deflected. He is someone that he needs to be that next man up for the defense. And like I said, with Wink Martindale, with him being blitz happy, with him one of the edge positions, he could very well get over 10 sacks next year and propel himself to the NFL draft this time next year. Now, our returning player profile of the day is also a high profile player. That is running back Donovan Edwards, 6'1", 209 pounds. He's coming off an inefficient season, but he looked great in the national championship game. It's finally his time. We've been waiting for this. We expected Blake Corum to leave for the NFL last year, but he came back. What that did, it helped both of them not take a full workload. With Donovan Edwards, I've said it all along. He has the best hands on the team. And as we mentioned last week with the new offensive coordinator coming in and some tweaking the philosophies, they plan on using Donovan Edwards as a chess piece. Now, he's finally going to be that lead back. And I think that does one of two things, because this past season, when I'm watching him run, he was never a patient runner. It was almost as if he was trying to take it to the house every time he had the ball, because he knew Blake Corum was the guy. He knew in a game he had maybe 10 to 15 carries at max. And so every time he got the ball, he was just, it was like he was shot out of a cannon. He just wanted to go and just prove his worth and get more touches. With him being a lead back, I believe he's going to be more a patient runner. What he does need to also improve on is his vision, but I believe that will come with him knowing he's going to get about 20 to 25 touches a game. I think that has a lot to do with it. He needs to know that he's not going to be taking out the very next play for someone else. With him being that lead back, I expect him to get about 65 to 70% of the carries between him and Mullins. So with him being there for at least a 2-down, if not a full 3-down back in a series, he's not going to be that guy who's going to look to take it to the house. He's going to be someone that's going to allow what the defense give him, take 4 or 5 yards. He'll settle down. And I believe at the end of next season, he's going to have over 1,200 all-purpose yards. And he's going to be the player that we all hoped for. It's finally his time. Now, the throwback player of the day, wide receiver Amani Toomer, or as Chris Berman likes to say, well-dressed Armani Toomer. Now, in 1992, as a true freshman, he made an impact right away. 16 catches, 238 yards, and a touchdown. As a sophomore, he became that deep threat. He averaged 19 yards a catch. His breakout season was 1994 when he was a junior. He didn't start any games at all and still had 49 catches, 1,033 yards, and 5 touchdowns. In 1995, as a senior, he finally became a starter. He was routinely double covered as he was a speed burner on that team. Now, what happened the very next year in the NFL draft? He was taken in the 2nd round, number 34 overall, to the New York Giants. Now, Toomer will go on to have a great NFL season. He would have 6 seasons of over 60 catches or more, 5 straight seasons of over 1,000 yards or more. In his 12-year career, he amassed 668 catches, 9,497 yards, 54 touchdowns, and a Super Bowl champion. Now, that has been the episode this week for Welcome to the Big House. And I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode. I want to give a special thank you to Dwight Peoples for that intro. I want to give a special thank you to Nino Brown for producing me and the entire CFB family. You can also follow me on Twitter or X at Andy_Pham1. Until next week, who's got better than CFB Nation?
Got a question for you. Who's got